Good evening, wrestling fans. Welcome to Evolution of Pro Wrestling. I am your host, Lewis, the encyclopedia of pro wrestling.
And I'm Jay, the whiz kid of pro wrestling.
Oh, always a great introduction, Jaden. A great team over here.
Yeah.
Guys, the topic we got today is amazing. But
extraordinary.
But before we continue, we just want to thank you guys for joining us again tonight for this amazing topic that we got today that many people are going to wonder how this man became about, that pretty much the legend killer,
right,
the Viper, Randy Orton. Tonight's topic is Randy Orton's greatest rivalries.
Oh yeah.
11 of the top rivalries in our opinion, which we're gonna name today, which by far revolutionized Randy Orton's career to new heights. Like, it was like to the bottom of the barrel to the top of the food chain.
Oh yeah.
Like, this young man at the time pretty much went through the WWE by storm.
He did. Literally, he did. He went through it by storm. And
so, Jaden, when you hear Randy Orton, what comes to mind?
Man, I hear, wow, it's crazy because you hear a lot of things from Randy Orton. You hear something like a Viper. You hear a person that can attack. You hear someone that's basically a counter man. And he can RKO you from out of nowhere.
Oh, out of nowhere.
Literally,
absolutely.
out of nowhere. RKO from out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Literally,
like, he's done it to Brock Lesnar. He's done it to CM Punk. He's done it to many Evan Bourne, Shelton Benjamin, like many guys in the air, especially in the air.
Pretty sure. I don't think anyone can count on their fingers how many times he's RKO'd someone.
Oh, man.
Because he's literally done it so many times.
Listen, I've seen by far, to me, the best RKO I've ever seen, actually the two best that I've ever seen, was when he countered, which we're going to get to earlier on, because I know this is going to be Brian's favorite match, Undertaker and Randy Orton. When he countered a chokeslam, which we're going to get into that match. And you saw that match.
That one. 100%.
And the one when he fought Seth Rollins, which we're going to get to today. That one was lethal. So that match is included in this one.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we are going to start off hot.
Yes, we are.
We are going to give you this match that is strictly wrestling.
I was just about to say
just
for this first match.
I got it. I got it. Strictly wrestling. Nothing more. Okay?
Exactly.
So the first match is Randy Orton versus Chris Benoit.
Exactly.
Chris Benoit was the World Heavyweight Champion at SummerSlam against Randy Orton. This kid was in Evolution at the time.
He was.
At Evolution. This was an amazing, amazing feat going down like no other. And Clifford, welcome, brother. It's been a while. Welcome. Brian, what's up, brother? The one and only Undertaker fan. We're going to talk about him later on in the show. So, Jaden, Chris Benoit and Randy Orton had the match of the year. Like, that match was amazing.
It was absolutely.
Randy Orton, nobody thought Randy Orton was going to win. He was the youngest World Heavyweight Champion of all time. He pretty much shattered Brock Lesnar's.
And that proves Randy Orton had a movement going on. That proves, Randy Orton was trying to get somewhere.
What made you think that Randy Orton deserved to win that title at the time?
Because he was actually working for it. That's one thing I could say. Most third generation superstars and most second generation superstars immediately think they don't have to work because they've had experience or
not to cut you off, it's funny you mentioned that. When you talk about third generation superstars, you've got to remember Randy Orton comes from his grandfather, Bob Orton. I believe his name was Bob Orton. I'm not too sure.
Pretty sure.
Yes, Bob Orton Sr. And then he had his father, Bob Orton Jr., who also was an amazing wrestler in professional wrestling. And then you got Randy Orton.
Exactly.
The man came into professional wrestling. He came in, this young kid, happy, trying to be a fan favorite. Didn't really work out that way. So
they put him in Evolution.
It's like,
so that's what
thank you, Jessica. Welcome. Thank you. I appreciate it. And then that's when he started becoming a heel. He became a heel. that's when his career started skyrocketing. He joined the likes of Batista. He joined the likes of
Ric Flair,
Triple H. Like, this duo was amazing.
Yeah, these guys were
like
crazy,
simply
but,
amazing.
Evolution was the best. But when you think about it, this was all Randy Orton. Randy Orton did this all by himself.
Of course.
Randy Orton won this title all by himself. No help, no nothing. Randy Orton worked for this title. And that's why I say he deserved it. Because Randy Orton actually worked for the title. He didn't automatically expect he was going to win the title.
Well, listen. Let me tell you something. When Randy Orton, at the time of what I heard, when I saw for certain stories, that Randy Orton was a pain in the ass. He was a pain in the ass back then. He was a smart guy. Here's this comment from Brian. Brian says, Benoit gave Orton that wrestling business. He didn't go light on him. No, he didn't. That match was superb. And that's what made the career of Randy Orton.
Exactly.
Because Randy Orton beat Chris Benoit, and pretty much that's what skyrocketed his career because of the legend that he beat in professional wrestling.
The underdog of that match. Honestly speaking, nobody thought Randy Orton was gonna win that match, especially at the age he was at the time.
Oh, exactly.
Nobody didn't think he was gonna win that match.
Nobody thought he was gonna win that match, but he did.
He did. He proved everybody wrong.
He proved everybody wrong. And I mean, it was
crazy.
It was crazy. Like the way it was, and it was a shame the way they had him lose the title so quickly. But I understood why. And it's because he wasn't ready to carry that burden on him right there.
The person he lost it to actually had a really good rivalry with that person. The person he lost the title to, I'm pretty sure he's on this list. They had a really good rivalry.
Of course, Triple H.
Exactly.
Triple H, all the way. And that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited to talk about that today because we have when you talk about rivalry. See, this is Jaden's former favorite wrestler.
He still is one of my favorite wrestlers.
He used to like all the time. He would even RKO me when he was young.
That was my favorite move.
That was his favorite move of all time.
That was my favorite move.
I'm like, okay,
yeah.
But when you talk about greats like this of Chris Benoit and Randy Orton, Orton set the tone for professional wrestling the moment he beat Chris Benoit for that title.
Right.
And that was it right there.
Exactly.
So now we jump into a little further. After he lost the World Heavyweight title, kind of became a singles guy, left Evolution, eventually becoming a heel again, winning the Intercontinental title. He had that battle with Edge. Edge and Randy Orton had an amazing rivalry that goes back years.
It goes back from when they were a tag team too. Rated R. That rivalry goes back a long
way
ago.
It goes a long way,
Most
and
definitely.
It's like, wow.
Right.
Excuse me. And those two are like two fish in a barrel. They know each other so well. And when you see those two going at it with each other, it's like pure instant classic.
That's what I'm saying.
Instant classic all the way. And it's like, what are you gonna do next? Are you gonna see a spear? Are you gonna see an RKO? Remember, there's been many times that Edge and Randy Orton have gone through certain matches that have gone no contest because of those type of things that they're doing. But when you see this rivalry, Jay, between Orton and Edge, what comes to your mind?
That's a great question. I see like a lot of animosity because you got to think about it. These two guys, they were a tag team. For the people that know, rated RKO. So for these guys to split up, these guys know each other from the back of their hands. They know they know the way they think. So it's gonna be interesting to see how these guys try to make up a plan to beat each other, especially if they know each other so well. So yeah, this rivalry was probably one of the most amazing Randy Orton rivalries I've ever seen, especially since the fact that these two known each other and they had to fight each other after. They went from friends to rivals.
Exactly.
And that's probably the biggest rivalry.
That's what made the rivalry even more intense.
That's what I'm saying.
Because remember, they both did it quinchero. I know you know what that is. Like he smashed his head on a chair, on another with another chair. Like they both did that to each other. They did a number. Like these guys were pretty much.
Oh man.
Like they were when they were together, they were a lethal combination.
Yeah, even solo, they were lethal. Excuse me, but oh man, yeah.
Listen,
I don't go
when they were together. I'm like, what's gonna happen? They attack Ric Flair. They attack The Undertaker. They attack Triple H. They attack Shawn Michaels.
All of them.
And it's like, wow. So when you see those two, I'm like, Edge's career transcended to new heights. And then that's when Randy Orton just took the ball and ran with it. If you would have seen this match, would you have wanted a different outcome?
For who?
For Randy Orton.
Randy Orton.
Because Randy Orton lost to Edge. Do you think that would have killed his career if he would have kept the title? Excuse me.
Probably. I feel like it would have. So I'm glad that they did do this, because little do people know, when Randy Orton was doing things like this, when Randy Orton was beating people like this or losing to people like this, little did they know Randy Orton was building up. They was building up Randy Orton. They were making him into a character. So I feel like at this time, in this specific time when Randy Orton was young, they were using him very properly, because they were making sure he wasn't winning too much, but he wasn't losing too much. They were trying to build him up to the character, everybody knows. So I definitely feel like they did the right thing with making him lose this.
Yes,
they
sure
did the right thing with making him lose.
They sure did.
And yeah, 100%.
So that's pretty much what what made his career go to new heights.
Exactly.
He made a name for himself, which pretty much he made a name for himself when he fought guys like CM Punk at WrestleMania 25. These two men had a heated rivalry because supposedly Randy Orton was jealous of CM Punk. This is when CM Punk was the heat at the time. And then next thing you know, you see CM Punk challenging Randy Orton to a match at WrestleMania. Now, this rivalry was intense. And I mean really intense. But it's like, it was non-stop. Like, the way the match was, it was amazing. And the way it ended was
insane.
Is that CM Punk tried to do a clothesline from the top rope, but Randy Orton caught him with the RKO quick.
It's out of nowhere.
So
it's an RKO out of nowhere.
No, it's definitely an RKO. So, and that was a lethal RKO. So, hey James, welcome, brother. Sorry, guys. Throat is dry. Continue, Jada. Continue.
Oh, I thought you were continuing speaking, but yeah, it was a really lethal RKO, and that's what happens with Randy Orton. You get an RKO out of nowhere. You never expect to see an RKO from him, and that was, like you said, that was probably one of the most lethal RKOs I've ever seen from Randy Orton, and that RKO was
I wouldn't say lethal.
It was, to me, it was lethal.
To me, one of the lethal RKOs that I've seen this man do was when he fought Seth Rollins.
I feel like that was lethal, but not as lethal.
He said a sippy cup. It was my son's. I just had a little dryness.
Yeah.
No, it's with Seth Rollins and Randy Orton fought at WrestleMania 31. That match was superb.
Okay.
Like,
it was.
Did you see when Seth Rollins tried to do the curb stomp?
He tried to hit a curb stomp.
Randy Orton lifted him up,
and he RKO'd
boom!
him.
By far,
Randy
one of the
Orton
most
won that.
ones.
He won that match too,
Yes,
right?
he did.
Randy Orton won that match.
But Randy Orton might have won the battle with him. But Seth Rollins won the war because he ended up cashing at Money in the Bank, winning the title by pinning Roman Reigns.
Yep.
At the time, the whack Roman Reigns. Now we got the tribal chief.
Have you guys heard his new theme song?
Oh man, his theme song is amazing. Amazing. Like it's hype.
Right.
It's a hype music. Like, it goes perfect with him.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But yes, he's RKO'd Evan Bourne. He's done amazing.
RKO's out of nowhere.
Like, yo, that's the good thing about the RKO. Excuse me, that he can do it out of nowhere.
And an RKO is one of those type of moves that is fast and lethal.
And like that.
Exactly.
It can take you out like that.
And lethal.
And that's why it to this day, you still hear that match of Seth Rollins and Randy Orton and that rivalry that they had because Randy Orton was going up against the Authority.
And I was just about to bring that up.
He was going up against the Authority. Yep. And the Authority pretty much had were a thorn on Randy Orton's side. And then that's when he turned face, ended up going up against Seth Rollins, but he had to go through the whole crew. He went through the Big Show, Kane, Triple H, Stephanie, everybody.
Seth Rollins was basically, the final man standing.
Yeah.
In the, inside of the inside of the Authority.
James says it's a diamond cutter. Cough, cough. I listen. I'm sorry. To me, it's better. The way he executes it, like not taking anything away from DDP. DDP, the way he executes that diamond cutter too is amazing. But Randy Orton can catch you like that out of nowhere.
Anytime.
He's done it to Jeff Hardy. When Jeff Hardy and the Royal Rumble, when they fought against each other. Jeff Hardy was going for his move, turned it around, reversal, boom, RKO right away.
Hulk Hogan. He was in the back of his car.
Did it on his car.
He gave him an RKO.
He did it on his car. An RKO. Come on.
Out of nowhere.
I gotta tell you something. I'm like, damn. So.
Right. That was just crazy.
No, it was a crazy battle between those two.
100%. It was.
But it was something to really enjoy.
It was.
When you saw that rivalry, it was something to really enjoy.
It was a good match.
And I still to this day enjoy it. Yep, Christian on the steps. Yep, another crazy rivalry those two had. Christian and Christian and Randy Orton, because Christian had won the title, the World Heavyweight title, but he won it for like 5 days, and Randy Orton beat him. So, he wasn't too happy about that. So, yes, he did RKO.
Then a kiss. I remember that he put Triple H in a handcuff. RKO'd Stephanie, and then he kissed her. He did. That's when Randy Orton was a part of Legacy.
I'm like, oof.
Right.
And that rivalry was crazy. Now that you mentioned that, Triple H and Randy Orton.
That was probably
another excellent rivalry.
Wow.
I mean, like, this one was beyond compare between these two. Like, it goes all the way back to when Triple H beat Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight title.
And indeed, and they also go back to Evolution. Because Triple H was the one that gave the signal for Evolution to betray Randy Orton.
Yes.
He did this and the thumbs down.
Oh yeah,
so
that was
Triple H was the calling card of that at that time.
He sure was.
So they really do go back really far to that.
They go 100%. Real far with that, and they had battles that Randy Orton that they. Yes, 3 stages of hell, man. That would have been crazy. Listen, when you see when Triple H went to Randy Orton's house, it was like, oh my God. Like,
I wouldn't have thought something like that would have happened.
No, but it was crazy the way they did it, because it was so unique. I'm like, damn, like.
They made this rivalry look so real. Like, when I first seen this rivalry,
so from bringing in the family, from bringing in his wife.
When I first seen this rivalry, I really thought there was like real life tension going on. That's how heated the rivalry was.
The rivalry was intense. Yeah, it was like that rivalry was intense.
It was. They did a really good job on that rivalry. That rivalry was crazy.
They pretty much said, let's go forward.
Let's go,
move it.
Let's go all out.
And that's what happened. That we had people doing that. And when Randy Orton set the tone, there was no turning back. Like, that's when Randy Orton became the Viper. Not the Legend Killer, because the Legend Killer was over. That's when he became part of, I forgot what was the name of his group.
Wasn't it Legacy?
Legacy, there you go.
Legacy with Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes.
He made Legacy. His rivalry was with Triple H. You know, you see in the Royal Rumble 2009, Randy Orton won it due to the help of Legacy. You know, and then he goes on. Well, actually, I don't think he won the. I don't think he won the WWE title yet.
I think he did
at WrestleMania. No, I think he didn't win it at WrestleMania. I think he won it at the the following event. I forgot when he won
sure.
it.
Yeah.
But he had several battles with Triple H.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like a lot.
Yeah, these guys go way back. These guys really do go way back. Like starting from Evolution to Legacy to Home Invading to the Authority. These guys go all the way. They go all the way back. And yeah, this rivalry, they went absolutely far with this one.
Oh yeah.
So I enjoyed it 100%. This rivalry was one of my favorites.
Oh no, it was definitely one of my favorites, and it was an all-time great.
Right.
With Triple H and Randy Orton, and they still went at it, even when they did it on Monday Night Raw until Bray Wyatt came back.
That was crazy.
That was crazy. So because Randy Orton and him were fighting, and then the Triple H's sledgehammer turned on fire. So
that was crazy.
But when we mention fire, you do mention the Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton.
Are we talking about the
Fiend? The Fiend. But of all, like the complete rivalry that these two started in, pretty much a barnyard. Like I think
these two were a tag team at a point.
They were a tag team at a point. That's when Randy Orton joined the Wyatt family at a point. He joined
I'm pretty sure the rivalry started.
Wyatt.
It started because he joined them, then he betrayed them. He went to Bray Wyatt's barnyard and he lit it on fire, and that's when everything went downhill from there. And ever since then, these guys carried that rivalry. Not literally carried that rivalry, but that rivalry is now Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton again, except this time Bray Wyatt's the Fiend.
Now remember, they fought in a House of Horrors match, I believe. They fought all over the house. Randy Orton burned the house, burned the barnyard, like it was just crazy.
And then recently they had an Inferno match, and he lit Bray Wyatt on fire.
Thank you, my lovely host, my producer and director gave me some water. Thank you.
He lit the Fiend. He lit the Fiend on fire, and I'm pretty sure what was it? Fastlane was where he returned. He returned. The Fiend returned at Fastlane, and if you guys haven't seen that, you gotta check it out.
Listen,
that was cool.
That rivalry between the Fiend and Randy Orton, that fire was classic. That match was classic.
If you haven't seen the Fiend's new attire, oh my goodness.
Oh man! But the thing is, I'm trying to find out why he's off. He's off again. I haven't seen Bray Wyatt again after that. Now Randy Orton is with.
They could possibly be doing something with him. They could be trying to. They could be trying to. Because look, think about it like this again. Because when Bray Wyatt got burned on fire, he came back. Think about it something like that. They're trying to probably do something more with Bray Wyatt. Trying to build up his character more. And I feel like that's what they need to do with Bray Wyatt, because it's about time they do something like that with Bray Wyatt. The Fiend character is already great. I just feel like they're trying to make it better. I hope that's what they're trying to do.
I like seeing him there. I like seeing him go after the title or do a new rivalry. But
now, Dad, I got a question. Do you think, I'm pretty sure he's won it before, but do you think Bray Wyatt right now is title material?
Yes. But the thing is,
that's what I feel like they should try doing now.
Let me tell you something. In a way, he is, but because of his character, it's kind of tough to have him as a champion, because if you're making him this indestructible person, it's not really gonna work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I asked that. I feel like he's title material, but he doesn't need it because of the gimmick he has
exactly.
going on.
He doesn't need it.
His gimmick is
perfect.
Exactly.
He doesn't need a title.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like if he does win the title, that'll mess it up.
In this business, there's sometimes you don't need a title. And there's many people there's examples that many people have. There's Roddy Piper. Man never won. He won one title in WWE, that was Intercontinental, and maybe that tag team. But he was never world champion. But he didn't need it.
He did
because of the character that he was.
Exactly.
The same way with Randy Orton is like, okay, he wins a title. You could see him winning a title. But Bray Wyatt don't need it.
He doesn't need it.
So we got a comment here. Mr. Alvin Cloud says, all right, before rivalries that define Randy Orton's career, the first rivalry is Mick Foley. The second rivalry was Chris Benoit. The third one that saved his career was The Undertaker. And the rivalry that kept him at top was Cena.
I got to disagree with that one.
Okay, we're going to get to that now with John Cena against Randy Orton at TLC. That match was the match that they unified the World Heavyweight title and the WWE Undisputed title. John Cena won that match.
He did.
Did you see that match?
I'm pretty sure this was back when Randy Orton was still part of the Authority. Yep, I did. I indeed seen that match. I did see that match.
So now you know.
For sure.
John Cena became the mortal enemy of the Authority. That's when everything started coming in with Randy Orton's career. As part of the Authority, they had a Survivor Series match.
They did.
And Cena team won. But the rivalry with Randy Orton and John Cena goes back a long way. This goes back since, I would have to say, before WrestleMania 2023.
Just about.
Before WrestleMania, no, before 24. Because John Cena came back at the Royal Rumble of 2008, challenged Randy Orton and Triple H. But remember, Randy Orton was the reason that John Cena got hurt, because he RKO'd him on a table. And he tore something in his arm. That's what made the rivalry more intense when he came back.
Exactly.
You know? Yes, in OVW too. When they were first starting off in professional wrestling and trainings for WWE, there were rivalries there too. I forgot about that.
They go a
long way. So yes, he did have a big part of keeping him on top.
He did.
Because John Cena...
That I can agree with.
John Cena was an amazing wrestler at the time. But then he just...
He fell off.
He fell off. He's like,
He'd rather make movies now.
Well, I'm not knocking him for the movies. I'm
not knocking him for the...
loyalty, respect.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He should have been the doctor of thugonomics, man.
That's not...
Stay the doctor of thugonomics.
That wasn't really his fault, though.
Well, yeah, it was WWE.
That wasn't really his fault.
WWE did...
They tried to make him a modern-day Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, that wasn't working. There's only one Hulk Hogan.
They tried to make
They tried to do that with Lex Luger, too. It wasn't working. And that wasn't going to happen. You know, and it's unfortunate that John Cena had to change, because he was a really fan favorite.
He was.
The fans love the Doctor of Thugonomics.
I still love him to this day.
And it's like
that John Cena, but hey, he's doing good for himself now.
Well, no, he's good. He's got movies. He's making movies. He's coming out with Fast and the Furious 9. So we're definitely watching that next month.
But
that rivalry was amazing. That rivalry was lethal. We enjoyed it, and it was beyond compare.
Exactly.
But then we have another one that pretty much made a name for himself too. Randy Orton fought RVD. Many of you know RVD is one of the biggest high flyers in wrestling.
Oh yeah.
But he is an extreme.
He most
extreme wrestler. He will take you ECW.
ECW,
yes.
Okay.
And he will take you to the extreme.
Oh yeah.
And in this case, he took Randy Orton to the extreme at I believe it was TLC. I'm not too sure, but it was one night. I think it was one night only in an Extreme Rules match, something like that. I guess.
Yeah, something like that. It was some type of.
He's had so many matches with him. It's not even funny.
Right.
And when you see that, you're like, holy shit. Like,
exactly.
Damn. Like,
right.
And you see the way RVD took him to the limit. You see the way Randy Orton took him to the limit. So Jaden, what do you see when you saw that match?
I mean, you know,
that rivalry period.
Like you said, I seen limits breaking, and you know, I would have never thought to see Randy Orton do something like that, because Randy Orton's had his fair shares of TLCs and things similar to that, but you've never seen Randy Orton go over his limit unless he absolutely has to.
Yeah, see, there you go. Best RVD Orton match was in a stretcher match. That was a lethal match. It was a hell of a match, and I seen the match.
I seen the match.
It's like you look at Randy Orton and you say, boom. That's when the Legend Killer started coming up slowly. Slowly started building up there. And then it got even more when he fought Shawn Michaels. When he had a rivalry going with Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels came in, he got hurt, he hurt his leg due to Randy Orton. He came back, came after Randy Orton, the rivalry was there. They fought many times for the WWE title.
100%.
Shawn Michaels took him to the limit and took him to school.
Well, that did happen. Yes, that did happen. And they had an absolutely great rivalry that I enjoyed. But I feel like there's a rivalry that nearly made the Legend Killer, and that was him and Mick Foley.
Oh, absolutely.
Him and Mick Foley.
Absolutely.
If you guys
the
haven't
hardcore
seen
match
that
in Backlash. Like, oh my God, like,
oh my goodness,
you can see the pain from Randy Orton's face when he landed on those tacks. Like, wow.
And he won the match.
He won the match in amazing fashion. You know, and it was crazy the way he won that match.
Exactly.
But from going from Evolution, still in an Evolution, and then you kick a legend down the stairs. You spit at him and then you kick him
down. Oh my God.
Like, wow.
Right.
And then he kept doing it and doing it. But the rivalry between him, yes, Alvin, we actually mentioned that earlier during the show with the Triple H rivalry. When it comes to Mick Foley will make you look good.
Oh yeah.
And that's what he did. That's what he did with Randy Orton.
I mean, Randy Orton had to go through some pain.
Oh yeah, he went through some major
He went from the barbed wire bat to the thumbtacks.
Major pain, like holy shit.
I don't even think I could do that.
No,
I don't even.
Hell no, I would not be able to do that.
I would cry in the ring. That hurts.
No, listen,
getting poked by a thumbtack, it's bad enough that hurts. He landed on a whole bunch of thumbtacks. I cannot imagine the pain he went through.
No, that was some amazing pain. Like,
oh man,
that was terrible. But the match was amazing.
Right,
the match was amazing. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, those guys put on,
and
it
was like,
that's one of my favorites.
Wow,
right,
and
exactly.
It will never be duplicated. You can never see. You can never see.
You won't even see that happen anymore.
Well, with AEW, maybe
AEW, maybe, but
they're a bit hardcore. They like to show blood and hit chairs and flip the finger and all that stuff. No, WWE is too politically correct. Sorry, no.
For real though.
I'm sorry. I know that's probably gonna give me some heat, but I'm sorry.
But it's kind of true though.
You know, you gotta give the fans what they want. And Randy and Triple H said it a long time ago on TV. You, the fans, are the authority. You, the fans, are the ones that choose what we want. The fans been talking to you for how many years now of what we want? We wanted John Cena as a heel. What happened? Never happened to heel. Roman Reigns, how long it took you guys to make him a heel? But I'm glad you did in this time now because it was perfect timing. This was the perfect timing.
I feel like if he would have had fans around, it would have been a lot better.
Oh, they would have booed the shit out of him.
And that probably would have been music to his ears. Right,
of course. And would have made him he probably would have made him the greatest heel of this generation of all time.
100%.
You know what I mean? And especially with him with the promo skills now that he finally learned. And you had Paul Heyman to it? Wow. So come on. But Randy Orton's career was signified when he became the official legend killer.
After this guy made the legend.
And the person that made this man the legend killer was the Undertaker.
This is my favorite rivalry.
The Undertaker and Randy Orton. When I saw this thing called Untold in WWE Network,
I seen that too.
You saw that this rivalry was intense. Like, as soon as Randy Orton came up, Undertaker wanted to work with him right away. He said, "I want to work with that guy." Why? Because he had the intensity, he had that demeanor to do it. When Randy Orton and Undertaker started that rivalry, Randy Orton hit him with a chair.
He did.
But he did it wrong.
He did it by accident.
He did it by accident and busted his whole head with that top head. That top head of the chair.
But like literally busted
his head open, and Randy Orton just put the blood on his chest. That set the tone for that rivalry.
But I feel like that was great. That was a crazy thing to do.
He knew what to do. He knew. He didn't even have to be told. He knew what to do at that moment. Exactly. He had to be creative about it, and he did.
And these guys,
the face he had.
Oh my goodness.
Excuse me. The face he had when he did that was perfect.
It was absolutely.
And then he went backstage and he was scared shitless.
Yeah.
And Undertaker told him, "Your receipt's coming, kid. Don't worry." But it went on from there. From the battles, the attacks, especially with his father getting involved, Bob Orton,
and not even that from Randy Orton and Bob Orton taking the urn.
That's what I'm saying.
Urn.
So and that's when it brought it to Wrestlemania. Streak, the Legend Killer versus the Phenom. The Streak against the Legend Killer.
I still like that Hell in a Cell match.
Oh yeah,
The
but
Hell
that's
in a
what I'm saying. We're gonna get to that. Now with this one, with Randy Orton and the Undertaker, when they fought at WrestleMania, Cowboy Bob Orton made his return, helped his son, but they did not win the match. Undertaker won the match, but it didn't stop there.
It didn't.
Didn't stop there. The rivalry kept going. I believe Orton had drived him into a podium with the car. He exploded. He put him on fire and No Mercy in a casket match. And then the crazy thing is that the way Randy Orton did it, he didn't care. It was splashing all over him, and it almost burned him. But you know what? He did it because the fans enjoyed it.
I'm pretty sure. Didn't they have a casket match too?
That's what I just said.
Okay,
he burned the casket.
Burned the casket, and it went from there. When they seen clones of each other, Undertaker opened the casket and seen himself in the casket. This rivalry was
and then after that, the Undertaker returned at Survivor Series when Team SmackDown won the match, and then
they were all celebrating.
They were all celebrating, and then boom.
The look on Randy Orton's face was priceless.
No, Mitch, what's going on, man? No, I don't like the RK Bro team. That's not my thing. I don't see that. Randy Orton and I forgot his name. Matt Riddle. Yeah, no, I can't see that tag team going on. But with this rivalry, it continued from Survivor Series. From Randy Orton beat Undertaker in a casket match. Then he fought the Undertaker again at Hell in a Cell. This was the third time they fought.
He did.
When they were in that ring, Undertaker was already bloody. Undertaker grabbed that chair, looked at Randy Orton and said, "Son, that receipt's coming now. Which means I'm going to whack the bejesus out of you on your head." But he didn't. He showed him a lesson that he trusts pretty much the person he's with.
Exactly.
He protected him. He protected Randy Orton, and Randy Orton finally got that mindset. Damn, I know what to do now. And then that's when the rivalry just skyrocketed. They kept going battle after battle. Randy Orton beat him, and that's where the Legend Killer came. And that's why with all these rivalries, when it comes to Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, Edge, CM Punk, RVD, Chris Benoit, Shawn Michaels, Bray Wyatt, Triple H, Undertaker, Mick Foley, and John Cena. Legend.
Absolutely.
All legends. Now, in your opinion, before we leave this show, fans, give us your favorite rivalry out of these rivalries we just mentioned now. Jaden, I'm going to leave it off of you to finish it. What is your greatest rivalry out of this entire list?
Orton versus The Undertaker.
Why?
That will forever be my favorite rivalry because they got so creative with this rivalry. From The Undertaker's urn to Randy Orton seeing illusions, from Cowboy Bob Orton bleeding out of his head, from Randy Orton seeing him in different places, Randy Orton trying to kill him multiple times. So it's been absolutely insane. These guys had an absolutely crazy rivalry. From Cowboy Bob Orton himself getting inside of this match or getting inside this rivalry. So this rivalry came a long way. This rivalry, that's my favorite Randy Orton rivalry to this day, because it's been so.
Well,
creative.
son, I'm gonna have to agree with you, because yes, I think this rivalry is what made him.
I agree.
It made him to begin his legacy as a legend killer, his legacy in the business. But I think John Cena brought him to new heights when it came to his career, as well as Mick Foley. All of them pretty much brought his career to new heights, and it was amazing.
100%.
So, wrestling fans, our time is up. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you joining us for this topic of Randy Orton's greatest rivalries. Next week we are not going live because we got a birthday over here. May 14th on Friday is Mr. 15-year-old over here. My son Jaden is having a birthday, and we will not be coming in live, but we will be coming on the following week.
That's gonna be a bang.
We're going to continue with Rivalry Month.
Yes, we are.
The next topic, I should say, is going to be Chris Jericho's greatest rivalries.
He's had a lot.
Yes.
A lot.
And we're going to name the greatest ones out there. So Thank you, fans, for watching. Please feel free to follow us all over social media. We on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have achieved over 200. We're proud of ourselves. We're proud of the support that you guys have given us. And show your support, man. Make your comments, your likes, whatever you like. And thank you for joining us, wrestling fans. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a good night.